Now, another thing, your title was PM, so you were part of the parliament, but in the UK, you also have this interesting concept, I think not unsimilar to what we have in the United States. We have the Senate and the Congress. In the UK, you have the House of Commons and the House of Lords. For those of us who are not from the UK, can you give us a quick synopsis so that we can understand it better?
So the Lords were the old court, going back to advise the monarch of the day. And they were never elected. They were the grandees. So if you had a big estate and you inherited it, you came down a duke or an earl or whatever like that, you became those around the king or queen to advise them. Now, the merchants, the traders started to make money and become ever more powerful. And they slowly wanted a say. And that's how the parliament side of things, the elected side of things, then got going. And as time went on, the House of Commons became ever more powerful, not only taking power away from the king or queen, but also because of the power taken away from the Lords as well. So the Lords is now seen as a revising chamber. Most of the decisions, and a prime minister must be an elected member of parliament as well.
Okay, but it's not like in the United States where Senate still has quite a bit of power. The House of Lords is kind of a more...
No, the House of Lords is seen as a revising chamber.
Which means what?
If there's ever a tussle between the two, the House of Commons will be seen as the senior. Whereas I think in your system, the Senate...
the Senate is more powerful.
I met them. They tell me that they are more powerful.
Yeah, they sit in office longer as well. Okay. Yeah. So tell us about this roadmap. How does one become a politician? For anybody who's listening and says, I want to do what he did.
Right. Well, the first thing you need to do is, as I say, establish who you are, what you stand for, where you sit in the political spectrum. And then probably in Britain, you have to reach out. So
political leaning. But I wanted to challenge you because what I heard, and maybe it's just my wishful thinking. I don't know if you're familiar with a book from Stephen Covey called Principle-Based Leadership.
Yeah, I know him well.
Is that kind of what you're referring to also? Not just decide what party you're going to go with, but because I believe, and this is some of the questions that I have lined up for you in a little later on, kind of go in that direction. It's one thing, if I maybe explain myself, one of the things that annoys me in the political situation right now is I don't truly believe that anybody is purely one thing or another. I think we have a wide spectrum of different political opinions. Some of them might be more liberal sometimes, some of them might be more conservative. But I find that right now, I think there's kind of a push to this, you have to commit. You have to commit and you have to be all out, which means you basically, and I've seen it interview after interview where, and this is where I question people's leadership, where they say, you know what, I'm going to compromise what I stand for and believe because I'm towing the party line. So when you refer to knowing what you stand for, I'm hearing more principles than just political leaning.
Yeah, I mean, you cover a lot there, and it absolutely is a true reflection on where politics is today. You know, one of my heroes is John McCain.
Yes,
and I can look at him.
One of the last real Republicans.
Yeah, and he listened to him. There was I remember stark commentary when he talked about Obama being. Somebody came up to him and said, "Isn't Obama evil?"
Yeah,
and everybody in the stadium went, "Yeah, isn't he horrible?" Yeah. And that is the what we call yaboo politics. Yeah, on one side, boo boo on the other.
Yeah.
And he said, actually, no, he's got different views, but he's not evil, and he means well for America as well. And that, for me, I thought, my goodness, that's a
I remember I saw that. I've seen that interview. It was with, I think, with an old lady who asked him.
Yeah.